Hi, I'm Nick Lujan, Director of Artistry and Education for Kevyn Aucoin Beauty. And today I'm going to be sharing all of my tips, tricks, and techniques for the best loose powder application. The Kevyn Aucoin Beauty Loose Powder is an ultra-silky microfine sheer loose setting powder. It does all of the things that you want from a powder. It helps to control oil and shine, set your makeup. It also helps to facilitate a smoother and softer blend of other powder products over top. So once you apply a veil of loose powder, your powder highlight, contour, and blushers are going to blend seamlessly and smooth. It also helps to blur the appearance of fine lines and pores for a more flawless and smooth complexion. In addition, I'm obsessed with this packaging. I love that the cap screws on tight, and then it also has this trap door that locks powder in place so that when you're traveling, it doesn't escape into your makeup bag or into your kit. Now it's time to talk application. I want to share as many tips and tricks as I can with you about loose powder. First up, let's talk about the under eye area. This is one of the most popular questions I get is how do I set my under eye to help prevent creasing? This is my best tip and it comes from years of practice and working backstage. Use the back of a brush, this is a lip brush, just to gently press and roll around the eye area. This is going to help to remove excess concealer or other product from the eye area. It also helps to tighten up the skin because the brush I'm using is metal. It's nice and cold and it firms up that skin really quickly. The next thing you want to do is take a smaller fluffy brush and dip it in your loose powder. Before you apply, you want to work the powder deep into those bristles. And then for application, it's just a gentle press and roll motion. You don't want to use too much pressure around the eye area because this area is the area of thinnest skin on the entire body. So less pressure equals a smoother application and finish. Now let's talk about using your loose powder over larger areas of the face. I'm going to be using a brush application for one side of my face and a powder puff application for the other so that you have both methods to work with. When using a powder brush, just dip your brush in your loose powder. See how much product is on the tip of the brush. Before you go to apply, you want to work the product into the bristles either in the palm of your hand or you can hold it upright and give it a good tap on the counter. Tapping it on the counter drops that powder deep into the bristles so that when you go to apply, you can press and roll without disrupting the makeup or dropping powder onto the garment or into the air. So it's always that press and roll motion that you want to use for that first initial layer of powder. That helps to create a smooth veil of product without disturbing your makeup underneath. After you've done that initial veil of powder, you can go back through with extra powder if you tend to have oily skin or if your makeup needs to stay on for an extremely long period of time. And then use your finger to support your brush this time and actually press the powder into the complexion. This is going to help to lock everything in for that long wear matte finish application. Now let's talk about applying your loose powder using a powder puff. A powder puff is simply a sponge enrobed or encased in a soft, fluffy fabric. It's easy to use and it's great for touch-ups. To load a puff with powder, hold it upright and just deposit a little bit of powder right in the very center of the puff. I like to just shake a little bit of powder into the middle of the puff. And before you apply this to your skin, you want to work that product deep inside the puff by folding it in half like a little taco and rubbing it back and forth. I like to do this a few times from different angles so that that powder is deep inside the puff and it doesn't fall out when I go to apply. Now that I've loaded my puff with my powder, it's easy for application. You want to just do a light pat of powder over your full complexion without any pressure. This is going to deposit a thin veil of powder so that when you go through and apply pressure later on, your makeup doesn't lift off onto the puff. It stays on your skin. So now that we've got this protective veil of loose powder, I'm going to go through with some pressure and really press my powder into the complexion. This is a perfect technique for oily skin types or anybody that wants their makeup to really stay on for a long period of time, anybody that wants to control shine, or if you are a performer. Once you've pressed your powder into the skin, I like to take a clean fluffy brush and just dust off any excess powder. Now, for travel, you can keep your puff in the lid of your loose powder container, or you can travel with it in like a little separate baggie. There's plenty of powder in here for multiple touch-ups throughout the day. I hope you enjoyed all of today's techniques, tips, and tricks on how to use your Kevyn Aucoin Beauty Loose Setting Powder. We would love to see what you create, so tag us at Kevyn Aucoin Beauty and hashtag Team Kevyn so we can follow along your makeup journey.